Andrew. Thank you for all the emojis as well. This is great. We love a bit of emoji love. So this is our special Canada Christmas cluster or Christmas cheer and what's coming next year. So just a few short and sweet updates from our lovely panel today. Team Canada, or some of Team Canada. They're not all here today, but we'll say hello. Nath, how are you doing today?
Hey Charlie, hey team, doing well. Looking forward to a little catch up and our last one for the year, but we'll be back next year. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice one, nice hat, Nath. He said Nath looks a little bit like an elf.
Yeah, certainly not on a shelf though.
Not elf on a shelf. After Nathan today, we'll hear from Joanne, aka Santa. Joanne, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm Santa and the reindeer. I'm double dipping here. Hi, everyone.
Multitasking. Kathleen says, I vote for Joanne. Joanne has the best outfit today.
Yes.
Good job. After Joanne is Tony. Tony, you are wearing an outfit.
I am. There it is. It's actually the dog's hat that I stole.
So funny. It's like, there it is. No, it's gone. Tony, how are you doing?
Very well. I can't believe it's December. It's just crazy.
I know. We're nearly at the end. A couple more weeks to go. Then Lizzie is up next. Lizzie, looking good in your Santa hat too. How are you,
Thank
Lizzie?
It does say Merry Christmas.
Nice one. And Sean's got some festive lights up. Sean, how are you today?
I do. Yeah, I did look around for my Santa hat this morning, but I recently moved and I think it got lost in the move. But Merry Christmas, everyone. Great to be here. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Sean. Sean needs to take a trip to Kmart. Go get your new Santa hat. Thank you all so much for joining us. So we have a very short and sweet updates from each of our panel today, followed by a quiz question from each of them. Nate's got a couple of Canada gift packs today, haven't you, Nate, to give away?
I do, thanks to our Team Canada partners. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll do those quiz questions, a little bit of fun, a little bit of learning, but mainly just to check in with everybody. Wrapping up the series and the year with our local Canada team. Okay, so we'll say goodbye to everybody else for now because Nath is going to go first. So bye team. They will all be back one by one to do their updates. Nath, do you want to move to your next slide? Cool. So Nath, I will let you take it away.
Okie doke. All right. Thank you, Charlie. And not only thanks to Charlie, but thanks to everyone who voted for us, I guess. I wanted to take this opportunity because it's the first time I've got to speak to you guys since winning the NTIA Most Popular Tourism Office. And I thought I'd throw in a couple of images of the night. It was an amazing night in Melbourne. We had an awesome Team Canada table. You'll recognise a few faces there. Yeah, it was an absolute blast to celebrate with everyone. Saw a few of you there on the night if you're on the call, but yeah, congratulations to all the other finalists and winners as well. But very humbled and honoured to win the award on behalf of the team here in Australia and back in head office. So big thank you. So let's kick on. We've got a couple of things we're going to be focusing on next year. Mainly around two seasons in particular, and we have been speaking about these for a bit. The first one is fall, and you can see images probably not super clear, but that's a shot of myself up in Churchill at Manitoba at Churchill Wild, one at Silver River Lodge. That was in September, taking photos of the Northern Lights, and yeah, you can do that with your iPhone these days. So I've got a really short video that I'm going to show you that hopefully gives you some inspiration on what to do in fall. So let's go. And then the next one is winter. Again, a shot of yours truly. That one was taken a few years back in Sun Peaks. About to go skiing with our friend Colin from Tourism Sun Peaks. So again, another similar video to show you some of the things you can do in winter. All right, so that's what we'll be focusing on moving forward for 24, those two seasons in particular. They're an easy sell to the Australian market. I think fall, we see a lot of Aussies going in that period. It's shoulder season, so airfares are a little cheaper, accommodations are a little cheaper. It's also the best time to see the wildlife, particularly bears, both grizzly and polar, and northern lights, as we spoke about. And then winter, we already see a bunch of Aussies going for skiing. We'd love to see more, obviously, but we'll also be focusing on lots of the cool non-ski experiences you can have. Again, northern lights features quite strongly in that period time of year as well. So just a little snippet of what you'll see from us next year. Hope you guys all have a great Christmas and year. And I think Charlie's got some questions she's going to throw up before we throw to Joanne.
Just a quick one. Thanks, Nate. Great videos. So, quick question from Nathan is, name 2 activities from the fall and winter videos. Maybe 2 that you'd like to do. Just throw in, you can type a couple of answers in there and we'll yeah. Yes, just throw your answers in there, Andrew. Thank you. Thanks, Nate. Great videos, great memories for you of Canada. You're heading back to Canada next year as well, of course, Nate. What's your first trip?
Yes, I will actually be over there on almost 2 trips in one in March, ski fam, and then staying on for some other non-ski activities as well with some of our key accounts. And then back to Edmonton in May for Rendezvous Canada. And then we're not sure about the second half of the year yet, but I'm sure there's more to come.
There will be more. Thank you. Rosemary, if you can't see the question, just pop it into the chat to host some panelists. So 2 activities from the fall and winter videos. Okay, we need to get moving now. So I'll leave it up just for Nathan, move a slide forward. Joanne, come back and join us. And I will give you guys another 5 seconds to answer that question just while we get Joanne back. Here she comes. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for answering the question. I'm going to end it there. Okay, because we will move on. Joanne, over to you.
Thank you. I have to switch outfits because I can't read with my those other beautiful glasses on. So thanks everybody for joining today. Just as sort of carrying on from Nathan, it's snowing at the moment up in parts of British Columbia, and we're starting to see some of our ski resorts opening up. So if you've got clients heading over for Christmas or into the new year, I'm sure they're all getting excited. We've had some familials out of New Zealand up in British Columbia in the last week or 2. So if you were lucky enough to get on any of those, I hope you had a great time. And we have some more running in February and March with some of our ski hotel partners. So again, if you're on any of those familials, have a fantastic time. Now on to the next slide. What's new for 2024 for us in British Columbia? Well, I've been talking about it already quite a bit. It's a new brand called the Rainforest to Rockies. So since we last chatted, if you were on one of our webinars, we have a website up and running now. So hellobc.com/R2R, as we're calling it, Aussie slang, R2R. Have a look at that. And there's a lot of great information on there. Next slide, please. We have, this is the map. So it's really about journeys across British Columbia from the coast, from Vancouver all the way over to the Rockies, which we know the Aussies love to do anyways. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to go. There's different things to do, whether you're taking a train, whether you're driving in a car, whether you're on a coach tour. There's a whole bunch of different ways and different things to see. So this Rainforest to Rockies website now has a whole bunch of great information to help you build those itineraries for your clients or to work with your wholesale partners for those. Next slide, please. So what have we got on that website? We've got 12 new itineraries, and there's all sorts of really cool things and ideas. Like I said, some include the train, some are road tripping, and they go north, they go directly east, and they go sort of southeast. So we've got Highway 1, Highway 3, and Highway 5. There are itineraries where you're stopping in places like Whistler, in the Okanagan, sipping wine. Maybe you're stopping off to do a bike ride in there, going through into the Rockies and all the awesome things to do in the Rockies, from things like hot springs and hiking and taking photos of the magnificent scenery. So definitely jump on board and have a look at all of the new things on that website. And you'll hear more from us in the new year. In February, we have some team coming out from British Columbia, and we have an activation happening in Sydney. So stand by for more on that. And otherwise, next slide, last slide. Just Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. And thanks so much for all your support this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Nice one. So Joanne's question, here it comes, is what is the name of the new brand BC has just launched? There we go. 4 options there. Just pop in your answer. We'll do a quick one this time. So thank you so much, Joanne. Any questions for Joanne, just pop them in the chat. We'll all be back at the end. We'll say goodbye. Tony's up next. Tony, if you want to come in and join us. And then Nath, yeah, Nath's all over it on the driving. Doing a good job driving, Nath. Well done. Cool. Oh, Tony, you've taken your hat off.
I've got a little friend with me, Louise.
Oh, I love it. Louise is wearing the hat. Okay, right, I'm closing down the quiz. 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Rainforest to Rockies. Remember that for Destination BC. Okay, Tony, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie. And thanks, everyone, for all your support this year. As I said, I can't believe it's December. It's been a very busy year. Nath, if you can move on to the next slide. So we carried 12,500 guests from Australia and New Zealand this year. And probably one of our most popular attractions on the First Passage to the West, all the journeys through the clouds, is Doris. And I don't have the video, but if you're interested, I can share it with you. But she waves to guests. I think this is a really great story. But she comes out and waves to the guests all the time, religiously every day, when the train's coming through. So, it's all those little stories that, you don't put them in a brochure. And, when you're telling, your clients about Rocky Mountaineer, it's great to have those little stories to give them. So big shout out to Doris and thanks for waving to all of our guests. Next slide there, Nate. In 2024, so I actually found this image. That is Santa on board Rocky Mountaineer last year, and Santa standing on a gold leaf carriage. Of course, gold leaf is only good enough for Santa. And there he is, handing out gifts. And on the next slide, just wanted to give you a bit of an update on some of the things exciting things that are happening for 2024. And we all love a new agent portal and a refresh. And Rocky Mountaineer, we haven't had a new booking engine for many years. So this is a big deal for us. And we're launching around March next year. So we know that January, February is a very busy time. So it's not the best time to launch a new booking engine. So we'll have that in March, and we'll have lots of webinars and training to get you up to speed on that. We'll be doing a lot more for Mills next year. We had over 50 travel agent partners from Australia and New Zealand travel to Canada with us this year. Obviously, Joanne's got Familiars going and some of our other partners from the Team Canada. So we work closely with them. So stay tuned for more details on that. But we really want to encourage as many of you as possible to get over to Canada and travel on the Rocky Mountaineer. And we've also got a few exclusive agent events happening in 2024 in both Australia and New Zealand. So stay tuned for that as well. And next slide, Nate. Finally, I just want to say thank you on behalf of Team APAC, we call ourselves. So myself, we've got Neryl Chambers, who's our coordinator. She's really the glue and the rose between the two thorns, which is myself and Frank Levy, who's our sales manager here. So have a great Christmas, everyone. We really do thank you for your support, and always reach out if you've got any other questions. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, Tony. I love that. Rose between two thorns between you and Frank. Chris has said, come to Brisbane, please. I'm sure you've got Brisbane on the list, Tony.
I live in Brisbane, so we'll definitely be doing Brisbane.
Chris, Tony can pop round your house for a cup of tea.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. So in 2024, Rocky Mountaineer celebrates how many years? Did you say this, Tony, actually?
No, because a lot of people think that we've been around for 100 years, but we're not that new, we're not that old. So I'm challenging you to guess it, and I'm going to give you a clue. We started in the 90s.
They're like, oh, we've already answered the question now. That's all right. We still put you all in the draw. But Tony, well, actually, yeah, what's the answer? I'm going to close it. 4,
in the 90s,
3,
so
2,
34.
34. Thank you. Okay, so Lizzie's up next. Lizzie, come back, Lizzie. Here she comes. Nath, you can move it forward again. Great job. Okay, over to you, Lizzie. Oh, Lizzie, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Of course I am. Sorry about that, everybody. Thank you for joining the festive webinar. I'm going to start with the province of Alberta and Team Alberta, as we call it, which is Banff, Jasper and Calgary. Just a few Christmassy highlights for everybody. But if you've got clients going to these areas, some must-dos and some news. So definitely in the town of Banff, the most beautiful winter wonderland destination. Take the gondola up to see night rise, where they light up and illuminate the gondola and have lights at the top of the information centre. It's all very Christmassy. It's winter wonderland, definitely worth trying. If you have clients going in late January, have them visit Lake Louise for Ice Magic. That's the World Ice Carving Championships, and it is supporting an event called Snow Days. Everything you can imagine, fun and snowy, they have happening during the Snow Days time, and that's late towards the end of January. And the beautiful thing about Ice Magic, it's right on Lake Louise, so it's absolutely beautiful. You also have to tick off Christmas at the castle. That's the Banff Springs. Doesn't matter if you don't stay there, go and visit the North Pole set up there, where Santa and Mrs. Claus have a nice setup there and Christmas presents, and they meet kids and adults. It's mainly adults lining up, to be honest. Definitely tick those off. Going further north up to the neighbouring national park of Jasper, skiers will like to hear that there's a new lift going in at Marmot Basin. But some of the most magic winter wildlife experiences, I would say, would be the winter wildlife tours, where you're always renowned to see something. I've been very lucky to see wolves on those winter wildlife tours, so definitely tick that off. And for some beautiful ice sculptures that are more natural, definitely do the Maline Canyon Ice Walk. And taking you back down south towards the gateway city of Calgary, don't miss the food. They certainly have festive food. There's everything from food tours to when Heritage Park actually put a lot of their buffet bistros for Christmas cuisine. And there's also little Christmas markets that pop up around the place. So Calgary is definitely your foodie one shop before you head up into the mountains to really enjoy and experience that winter wonderland. And Nate, if you want to flick me over to the next slide, I'll take you up into the territories to Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories, which sit above British Columbia and above Alberta and are neighbours to the Yukon. So the Northwest Territories is where you see the aurora, and Yellowknife is the gateway city. Only a 2-hour flight from Vancouver or Calgary directly into Yellowknife, where you can see the aurora. And winter's a wonderful time to see it, and a great add-on to any BC or Alberta ski holiday too. If your clients want to add 4 days up in Yellowknife to see the aurora, it's a wonderful experience. You stay downtown. That's the big takeaway that I'd ask you to just note for your clients. If you did want to add this on for any winter stays or Christmas stays, you stay downtown, and then they bus you out to an aurora viewing location, unless you go to a fly-in, fly-out lodge. And must-dos and must-ticks, it would be the dog sledding. They are really authentic with their dog sledding. They're true blue mushers, because back in the day, that's how they transported across the frozen Slave Lake. So a great add-on. And the winter aurora season is starts in December and goes to March, sometimes even into early April, depending on weather. So it definitely a must-do add-on, and it has its own Christmas lights naturally in the sky. And that's my wrap-up. Back to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Lizzie. Actually, we've got to do 2 of Lizzie's questions now.
Yes.
So we'll do Alberta first. What's the iconic hotel chain that has a castle, a lodge, a chateau, and a hotel across key Alberta locations? And I'll leave that one with you for a minute. But thank you, Lizzie. Great updates there on your destination. You've got some amazing destinations. You're pretty lucky, hey, Lizzie? All of that good stuff. Thank you. Okay, this should be a quick question for everybody, so I'm not going to give you too long. I think, was it Sandra said I was a bit quick on the other one? Sorry, we're trying to keep things moving as well. So, right, 3 seconds on this one. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it. Lizzie, the answer was, of course,
Fairmont.
Fairmont. And then Lizzie's Northwest Territories question. The questions are a bit of fun too, right? You know, just to learn and have a little bit of interaction. So how long is the direct flight from Vancouver or Calgary to Yellowknife? So, okay, those answers are coming in as well. So yes, like Lizzie says, a great addition to a ski trip or a trip to BC or Alberta. So lots of options there. Okay, I won't give you long for that one either. Actually, Lizzie, thank you. We'll say thanks to Lizzie.
Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Lizzie. We'll bring everybody back at the end. So if you do have any questions, then please do, just let us know. Now what's going to happen is Sean is coming on. Sean's got a few updates for you. Yukon, Virel, and Manitoba. Sean's a busy guy. So he's going to start sharing his screen with us to do those. And Sean will get you back on the camera as well. Where's he gone now? Here we go. There he is. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to close down Lizzie's Northwest Territories question. 3, 2, 1. And the answer was 2 hours. There we go. Okay, so Sean's got a few updates for you. Sean, over to you.
Thank you, Charlie. Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas. Firstly, let's talk about Yukon. I want to talk about aurora viewing. It's definitely on everyone's lips at the moment, particularly because we are approaching the time of Aurora Max. Now, Aurora Max is actually the high point in the solar cycle. Every 11 years, the solar cycle goes around. And in 2024, it's actually rumored to reach its peak. That's what the scientists have told us. It's actually forecast to be a little bit earlier than initially was supposed to be 2024, 2025. They've now moved it to late 2024 when they think is going to be the peak. It is important to remember, though, that it is a cycle, so it doesn't just sort of go up and then straight back down again. It's more of a curve. So if you're visiting before the peak and visiting after the peak, you're still guaranteed fantastic aurora. Just a few tips about aurora. We do recommend staying at least 3 to 4 nights. It is important to remember that the aurora will come out in the evening. Sometimes it can come out as late as about 3 a.m. in the nighttime. or the morning, I should say. So you don't want to schedule clients back-to-back auroras. If you are trying to see aurora 3 to 4 nights out of maybe a 5-night itinerary or 3 nights out of a 4-night itinerary is a better option to enable your clients to get a bit of rest and recovery, and also enjoy some of our fantastic day experiences, which is very important. I also just want to talk a little bit about some of these day experiences. Winter or summer, the Yukon is a fantastic place. We have lots of dog sledding, ice fishing, hair freezing competitions, as I've talked about before, at the Eclipse Hot Springs, which has been renovated and is open for business. It's still got the fantastic hot springs that we know and love, but now offering spa experiences as well. A really fantastic place, very, very close to downtown Whitehorse. So that's the other good thing about the Yukon, particularly the Whitehorse area. Everything is so accessible. It's usually only 20, 30 minutes drive away, which is really nice. Other sort of quick highlights here, the Yukon route and White Pass train, which is operating in the summertime, heading to Skagway, Alaska. Fantastic way to see some of the Rocky Mountains, some of the fantastic lakes, and also follow part of the Chilkoot Trail, which is made famous by the Call of the Wild. We have fantastic food in the Yukon, some fantastic animals you can see at the Wildlife Preserve. We have glass blowing at Lumiere Studios, and yeah, some great brewery tours as well. Okay, quiz time for the Yukon. I'm hoping Charlie will have something up for you now. Oh, here we go. Fantastic. Alrighty. So the question is, when will the solar max forecast to peak? And we talked about that. So please, yeah, please put in your answer. And I'll give you a little while, and I'll let Charlie sort of run the quiz.
Oh, that's fine. You're doing an awesome job. I was like, find the right one, the Yukon. So yes, 2024, 2025, or 2026. But like Sean said, all still great times to go, right? But when is that solar max gonna peak? Thank you, Sean. Sean, if you just want to move your slide forward onto, is it VRL next? Just yes, so we're ready. Thank you. Sean is wearing a few hats today. Okay, thank you. I'm going to close down that Yukon question. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Sean, what was the answer?
It was 2024.
Thank you. Okay, carry on.
Thanks very much, Charlie. Okay, so VRL, as we all know, sleeper class rail. Key features of VRL, particularly the Canadian and our long-haul journeys, is you get to sleep on board. It's a fantastic view of the Northern Lights there on one of our VRL trains. I believe that is the Canadian, with the dome car at the rear of the train in the shot there. I want to talk a little bit today about our Sleeper Plus class, and particularly the categories within Sleeper Plus. It is a common point of confusion for a lot of people. So we have in Sleeper Plus, we have berth, we have cabin for 1, and we have cabin for 2. It's important to remember that within Sleeper Plus class, you get all your meals included in the dining car. You have access to the dome car. You have access to wander the train. You can go to the Prestige Park car, which is at the rear of the train, and visit the bar and so forth. During the summertime, there is some restrictions for Sleeper Plus passengers on the Prestige Park car. During the winter time, there's no restrictions. In terms of the actual berth, cabin for 1 and cabin for 2 in particular, as you can see here from the image, basically for the berths are open configuration. In the night time, the berth section folds down and you actually have a private sleeping area. During the daytime, those curtains come open, and then you'll see on the right-hand side of the screen there, it's converted into a daytime seating area. It is also important to realize for berths, you don't, during the nighttime, there's not many people at all walking down those corridors, so it actually is reasonably quiet. Also on berths, you have access to a shower and a toilet in the carriage, so you don't actually have to go far. Moving on to single cabin. Single cabin is an enclosed cabin. It is a reasonably compact cabin. During the daytime, you'll see there you have a seat. During the nighttime, it does convert to a nice bed. In fact, the bed's actually quite a large bed. It's one of the largest single beds we have on the train. And it is quite a nice way, as you can imagine, because the window is right there, to actually view the whole landscape as it unfolds before you. The toilet and the shower is also in the carriage. There is also a small toilet in the single cabin as well. Cabin for 2, It is 2 people. There is a washroom. There is a toilet in the cabin. In fact, the toilet is separated by a small door. There is some great comfortable bunk style beds, a fantastic window, quite a bit more space than the other styles there. So just to sort of sum it all up, in Sleeper Plus class, all of the categories have meals included in the dining car. They all have the Skyline Dome car access. They all have access to Prestige Park Car and Bar. Some restrictions during summer peak for Prestige Park Car and Bar, but you can feel free to wander the train. So it is really just the difference in the cabin or the berth style that is the key difference in the Sleeper Plus categories. Okay, let's move on to some quizzes.
Okay, here are your VRL questions. Thank you, Sean. Or just one question.
Just
Features of a berth category. Can you see all of those? Mine's a bit. I hope you can see everything.
I can, yeah. So this was possibly a little bit tricky in that you had to be listening quite closely. So what are the features of a berth category? A, main meals served in dining car, access to the Skyline Dome car, and a private cabin. Or B, main meals served in the dining car, access to the Skyline Dome car, a shared carriage with a private sleeping area separated by curtain. Or C, main meals available for purchase at a cafe, private cabin, or an access to the Skyline Dome car. We did sort of cover this in the presentation, so there is one answer that is correct.
Testing everybody, Sean.
Yes.
In December, making everybody think.
I know. It's like, I'm about to go on holiday. You're asking me complicated questions.
Yeah. Okay, I think most people are on to that question. But don't stress if you can't. It's all good. Just a bit of fun, just a little bit of extra learning. Thank you so much, Sean. If you want to just click over to Manitoba. So this is our last update now. Sean is going to do Manitoba, then we'll bring the whole panel back. So I'm going to close down that VRL quiz now. 3, 2, 1. End it there. Thank you. Okay, Sean, keep going. Good job.
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks for sticking with me, everybody. Okay, let's move on to Manitoba now. As everyone knows, Manitoba is located in the heart of Canada. In fact, our tagline is Canada's heart is calling. We have fantastic air connections. It is, I think, really an essential part of a Canadian itinerary. You will most likely, your first point of call will be Winnipeg. We have some fantastic attractions in Winnipeg. The journey to Churchill at Assiniboine Park is fantastic. You can get to see polar bears. We have a great underwater tunnel where you can see polar bears swimming above you. It really is quite fantastic. The Canadian Museum of Human Rights, of course, is very famous right around the world. We have the Hermetic Code tour, which is still at the moment a little bit harder to access. It's a fantastic tour. It's one of my favorite. At the moment, due to some access restrictions, it is available for private tours only, but we're trying to change that as soon as possible. Of course, polar bears are one of the most fantastic reasons to visit Manitoba, particularly up in Churchill during the winter time. We are talking about October, November being the most popular time and the time when most of the polar bears are around the Churchill area. But you can see them at sometimes in other times as well. In the summertime, lots of fantastic things to see and do. But again, one of the highlights would be our beluga whales. These fantastic, very playful creatures. You can get up reasonably close to them, and there's a lot of them as well. It's not just one or two. There's thousands of them, so it's quite a sight. We also have in Winnipeg, Fort White, where you can see lots of Canadian animals, including the bison, which is my favourite Canadian animal. Just some updates as well. So we are lucky to have Silver Sea Cruises, which is sailing from Revenjak to Churchill each summer. And it'll actually terminate in Churchill and then head back. When the ship reaches Churchill, there'll be lots of land-based activities, and then of course you can continue on a Churchill adventure, various Arctic safaris and so forth from there as well for multiple days if you choose. We also have Lazy Bear Expeditions, which is providing their new boat, which is called the Manitoba. There will be specialists to view the belugas. And the key thing about this boat is it actually has underwater viewing. So that's, yeah, really unique, quite special. So some two highlights there of some new things that are happening in Manitoba. Okay, I think that's it for, and it's time for the quiz. Okay,
Thank
so
you, Sean.
thanks, Charlie. Okay, so Manitoba. So what is the name of the cruise line visiting Churchill? Is it A, Silver Sea, B, Carnival, or C, Norwegian Cruise Line? Now I'll let you
That
have a
is
think about
very
that one for a
cool,
moment.
Sean. Cruising into Churchill. How cool is that?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's something we've been really hoping to happen for quite some time now. So it's, yeah, it's very exciting.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'll leave that one up. Well, that's it's probably one of the easier ones since you just
Hopefully a
said
little
it, but
bit easier than
I
the
will
zero
leave it up
question,
there for a
hopefully.
minute. Actually, no, I do have one more question for you, but I'm going to invite the rest of the panel back and I'll get
Sure.
that other question up. So, panel, please come and join me and Sean. I do have one more question for you guys. So have you
Yeah.
finished with the Manitoba one?
I'm all
3, 2,
finished, thank you.
1. Okay. That one was Silver Sea. Very exciting. Our friends at Air Canada couldn't be here with us today, hey Nate, but they have supported the series throughout the year. So we would like to say a big thank you to Air Canada. They're actually all traveling at the moment, so they weren't able to be with us. But I do have a question from Air Canada for today, and that is, what is the name of the AC Trade Training Program? And the other question is, have you done it? So not that that will put you in the draw or not today, but Air Canada Specialist, Air Canada Expert, or Global Sales University. Just your last question today. And yes, a few yeses coming in. Well done. You have done your training. So that's the message from AC, is to get on. Maybe if you do get a bit of a Christmas break or you got some time for some training. And of course, the Canada Specialist Program training as well, right, Nate?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Canada, I wanted to say a big thanks to them, not only for being part of Team Canada, but also supporting the webinar program for the whole year. It sort of makes things possible. So we appreciate their support and look forward to working with them again next year. So yeah, they're all out of town, but they'll be involved in the program next year, I'm sure.
Yeah, they've had a busy year, right? They're getting out and about everywhere. So thank you. Thanks to everybody for their updates today. Are there any questions? You have the panel now. Jesse's giving Joanne some love again about her outfit. We need to give Joanne a prize today, Nate.
Oh, good.
A new
Canada
outfit for
Prize
next year.
pack, Joanne. How many Canada prize packs do you have?
They're in the mail.
Cool. Thank you. Everyone's saying they've done their Air Canada training. Right. What questions did we have? Oh, Joanne's already been onto it for Peter. Just the link to the Rainforest to Rockies. I might just throw that one in the. Oh, you've already thrown it in the chat,
Yeah,
Joanne.
I've done that.
You're on it. If you need anything else, the other thing is there is a survey, as always, those of you who are regulars, the survey is going to pop up, but it's not just about today. It is about the series in general. So please do put in your feedback on the Canada Specialist Program series and anything that you want to see next year. Yeah, any requests, please put it in there. So thank you. Okay, Nath, just before I think people will need to start heading out now. We know you're busy. Thank you for joining us. But Nath, I'll let you kind of sign us off.
Thanks, Charlie. Big thanks to all our Team Canada partners who are here today. I hope the agents got something out of that. Lots to look forward to for next year. Big thanks to the agents who joined us. And of course, a huge thanks to Charlie. She does an amazing job, as everyone knows, and we wouldn't be able to host this without her. So big thanks for you. Excited to have you in Sydney for once. So I think a few of us are going to catch up tomorrow. So yeah, big thanks everyone, and looking forward to next year's. As Charlie said, please do fill out the survey because it's how we shape next year's program. So if there's things you want to see in these webinars, please let us know, because we want to be able to give you what you guys want. So yeah, big thanks. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. See you in 24.
Awesome. So much love coming in for you guys. All the love for Canada. I love it. Thank you for all the emojis for everybody for our panel. I'm going to stop there, Canada quiz there. It is Global Sales University. There will be a link to that in today's follow-up. So if you haven't done it, then do jump onto your Global Sales University and Canada Specialist Program. But yes, so Nate, go
yeah,
again.
one more thing. Look out for some information on a couple of new incentives that the Canada Specialist Program will be introducing globally for next year, but it includes us. So there'll be some opportunities to win some meals and maybe even air tickets. So have a look out for that. They're just finalising the details at head office. So I expect early in the new year there'll be emails sent out about that.
Very exciting. So, Joanne, thank you. Merry Christmas, Joanne.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Tony.
Thank you. I feel like Canada and Christmas should go together with red and white. So.
Exactly. I'm hoping to be there next Christmas, by the way. And Lizzie.
Bye,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas. Sean, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Nate. Merry Christmas to everybody.
So, yeah. Merry Christmas.
We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.